Okay, I guess it's time to go. Good morning, everybody. It's time for number 4 of the 6-session series. We'll say that 3 times fast. In the Taste of Tai Chi class, presented and sponsored by the Township of Montclairians in Lifelong Learning Program. There's another one that you can say 3 times fast and be a challenge. Okay, before we start, it's just been brought to my attention that I do not have to try to do this mirror image. There's a backstory. A couple of seasons ago, the software program that was being used reversed the image on my tablet, and because I'm using a tablet, I could not reverse it. So I taught myself to do it backwards, or not backwards, mirror image, so it would look correct to the people watching. Turns out that was not a good idea, but nobody brought it up, so I didn't know any better. This morning, it was brought to my attention that if I raised my right arm, it looked like my right arm was being raised instead of my left one. So I am no longer going to do it mirror image. What that means is that you're seeing it right way around all the time. That simplifies things a lot. And now I don't know what I'm going to do with that embedded mirror image Tai Chi form that I have. Oh well, so it goes. So before we start, if you have any questions, please check in now because we're going to mute everybody in just a minute. Any questions out there? Nope. Okay, I'm going to ask everyone to mute their devices. I don't want to hear your puppies playing, and I don't want to hear your teacup rattling and things like that. So please do the mute. Okay, so here we are. This is session number 4, like I said. And last week we did the first 9 postures, and we're going to do them again this morning. We're going to kind of review and refresh and try to get them a little more embedded in your mind. Keep in mind that there's no grades being issued. I'm not watching you practice, so there is no pressure to get it perfect. Perfect is a kind of a hard to define idea anyway, and I don't really believe in it all that much, because everybody has flaws, and how you deal with it is what makes you different. Okay, so the first order of business is to get into our Wu Ji position, how we start. So your head is going to be upright. Your chin will be tucked toward your body. You need to relax and round forward your shoulders. You're going to tuck your tailbone and bend your knees. Put your feet close together. Your toes should all be facing forward. This is the Wu Ji position. This is how we start. Scratching your nose is optional. First thing we officially do is to bow in. To do that, your left hand becomes a willow palm. Your right hand becomes a fist. You're going to put all your weight on your right side and put your left toes forward, your heels off the floor. Fold your left hand over your right fist. Keep your eyes up as you bow. We're in business. Okay. Next thing that we're going to do is a series of exercises. These exercises are meant to work on your connective tissues, your ligaments, your tendons, things like that. We don't care about building muscle. There are gymnasiums that are there for that purpose. And I'm sure some of you have gymnasiums at home and bikes and all that other stuff. Use them, it's good for you. So to do that, we're going to step out, make ourselves into a comfortable stance with our feet about shoulder width apart. Keep your knees nice and bent. Keep your shoulders nice and relaxed. The first exercise is swinging arms. So turn your bodies to the left, to the right, and repeat. You're turning with your hips. You're not doing it with your arms or your shoulders or anything else. Just let your hips do the work. Don't try to control your arms. Just let them flap around. If you turn and look over the shoulder that you're turning towards, you're going to turn a little more completely. Meanwhile, all the time you're thinking about your bubbling well and keeping your weight halfway between your toes and your heels so that you feel nice and stable and solid. Okay, next up is my favorite stretch. It's called Touch the Earth and Hold the Sky. It's got 6 steps. Number 1, bend the knees a little extra and lightly interlace your fingers out in front. Number 2, keep your knees bent, turn the palms up and push enthusiastically toward the ceiling. Number 3, keep your knees bent, push up onto the front half of your feet and stay there. Number 4, push down with your left palm, push up with your right. Number 5, bring the top hand down, point your fingers forward, lift the fingertips and push back with your wrists. 6, ease on down. 1, 2, 3. For number 4 this time, push down with your left palm, push up with your right. 5, push down, fingers forward, lift the fingertips and push back. 6, 1, 2, 3, right push, pushing back, 6, 1, 2, 3, left push, pushing back, down. My favorite stretch. Feel free to do it a lot more times if you want to. It's really good for you. Okay, next up we're going to do some tiger stretching. So move your feet out just a little bit more. Bend your knees just a little bit more. Your hands can either be on your hips or out in front, separated. Your body should face the camera at all times. So shift to the left side and sink. Pick up your right toes and turn them out. Shift over onto the right side, sink again. Remember, don't go past your bubbling well with your weight. Shift back, toes to the front. Shift right and sink, pick up your left toes. Turn the left toes out, shift, and sink. Shift and pivot, shift and sink. Pick up the toes, turn out, shift and sink. Shift and pivot, shift and sink. Pick up the toes, turn them out, shift and sink. Shift and pivot, shift and sink. Toes up, toes out, shift and sink, shift and pivot, stand up and stop. Okay, finally, 2 minutes of standing post. Your feet are comfortably apart. Your knees are nice and saggy, and your body is nice and saggy, and you're comfortable. And your weight is on the bubbling well on each foot. And your hands are out in front. You have 2 minutes of uninterrupted relaxation. You can use it to think about your grocery list or the cookies you're going to bake later or the snow you have to shovel still, whatever you want, but relax. Your breathing is nice and deep, diaphragmatic, breathing with your belly. That's 1 minute. Thirty seconds left. Fifteen seconds. And hands down. Okay. Let me talk a minute just about that last exercise, standing post. It's called a static exercise, meaning there are no moving parts, okay? The good part about it is that there are no moving parts. You're not doing anything. But if you pay attention, you're going to feel some work being done, particularly in your thigh muscles. You might, because you're forcing yourself to relax, and remember to relax, you might feel it in your shoulders as well. It's a really good thing to do, and you can do it for as long as you want to. My record is something like 26 minutes. After the first 10 minutes or so, you don't even notice the time. Okay, a couple other things to think about. I want to remind you about the website, don.madsen at don.madsen.blogspot.com. No, donmadsen.blogspot.com. Maybe somebody will post it up on the net there so you don't have to listen to me again trying to get my dots figured out. On that website, donmadsen.blogspot.com, there's everything you want to know and maybe more about what we're doing, including a couple of videos, one from the front, one from the back. If you want to take a look at those videos and study them, please don't try to eat the whole thing all at once. Take little bites. The first 1 or 2 postures at a time, the next 1 or 2 postures next time, things like that. It's going to make it a lot easier to finally figure it out. Also, you can reach me through that website if you need to, and you can also reach me on my email address, which is don.madsen@gmail.com. Feel free to ask any questions that you want. Okay. Okay, there you go. If those opportunities to ask a question don't quite do it for you, if you email me maybe we can talk on the telephone or something. But and I also will hang out after class during these sessions, as long as they don't cut me off and we can answer some questions. Okay, to the Tai Chi stuff. A few things to kind of try to keep in your mind all the time. First, your footwork is the most important part of it. And a great deal of importance is placed on where you put your weight all the time. Whether you're standing still like I'm doing now, or whether you're moving, doing the form. Where your weight goes is of real significance. And as part of that thought process, your bubbling well is very, very important. It's a place about halfway between the end of your tip of your toes and the back of your heel. It's about halfway side to side. And I kind of think of it as something about the size of a silver dollar or a half dollar that you're stepping on. And when you move your weight, you shift your weight to that place and you step on that half dollar. Not any further towards your toes, nor any further towards your heels. Because if you do that and get your weight balanced correctly, you can do other stuff under control without having to worry that much about your balance, because it's going to help keep your balance under control all the time. Capiche? Cool. When you turn, you're either going to pivot on your heel or on your toe. Your job is to know when to do which. But when you turn, you got to pick up one end of your foot or the other, or else it's possible to hurt your ankle joint, your knee joint, or your hip joint. Okay? Finally, just a touch about breathing. I'm not going to spend much time on it because in the grand scheme of things, it may not be what you need to think about the most. But when you're doing Tai Chi, you try to make your breathing move as your body is moving. When you're gathering energy and getting ready to do something that's expressive and separates body parts, you're going to be breathing in. When you actually do that movement that separates body parts, then you're going to be breathing out. Okay? Try to keep those things in your mind all the time. Meanwhile, let's do some Tai Chi. We're going to do the form, the whole form, and nothing but the form. I'm going to give you the name of each posture, and then we're just going to do that posture, and then I'll give you the name of the next one, and so on. Okay, Wuji positions, please. Preparation. Initiation. Grasping the bird's tail to the right. Single whip. Wave hands like clouds. Rush knee and push. Hands strum the lute. Step back and repulse the monkey. Deflect intercept, and punch. Shutting the door. Crossing hands. Conclusion. Okay. Any of that seem familiar to y'all? I'm hoping so. All right. Let's take a look at the first 9 postures, which is what we worked up to last week. And we'll spend a little more time on that third set of 3 that we worked on last week before we move on. So, preparation, 2 steps. Put all your weight on the left side, pick up your right heel, go to a tiptoe position. Pick up the right knee, move the foot out, touch the floor. Lower the heel, push the heel out to straighten your foot, center your weight, and sink. Initiation, 4 steps. Number 1, sink the shoulders. 2, raise your arms. Sink the elbows to draw your hands a little closer. Sink the wrists to raise the fingers. Push down to waist level as you straighten your body. Relax your hands. Grasping the bird's tail to the right. Shift left. Make a T-step right. Embrace ball. Sit step right. And remember, step toward the corner. Don't just step forward. Shift your weight forward, block up with the right forearm, push the left hand down near your left hip bone. Invert the hand, drop the right elbow, turn the right palm up, turn the hand over, hands face in opposite directions. Your right palm is facing outward, your left palm the fingers are facing toward your body. Retreat, sink on the left side, turn your body back to the front. Shift to the right, extend your hands to the left, relax your arms and hands. 7 is prepared to press. Turn the right palm towards your left shoulder, bring the left hand high over the top. When it's even with the other wrist, drop it down behind it. Pick up your left toes, turn your body to the right, turn your fingers in opposite directions, extend and separate your hands. Grab the top of the swimming pool ladder, shift your weight and sink onto the left side. Slide your hands down the ladder all the way to hip level. Turn the palms up and raise them up even with your shoulders. As you shift your weight forward, point the fingertips up, continue shifting your weight to push. Single whip, shift onto the left side and sink. Pivot on your right heel as you turn to the left. Shift your weight right and sink. Reach out to form a hook with your right hand. Sweep your left hand all the way to your right hip bone. Pull your left foot into a T-step. Step to the corner with your left foot. As you shift your weight left, bring your left hand up to guard the face. Pick up your right toes. Turn to the left, bring your left hand in by your left shoulder. Turn the left hand and push forward. Wave hands like clouds. Shift to the right and sink. Pick up the left toes, open the right hand. Sweep your left hand toward the front, bring your left toes to point forward. 2, shifting left, push up with your left palm and down with your right. 3, keep your weight on the left, turn to the left, push forward left, right hand to the left hip. 4, a closing step, put all your weight on the left and move the right foot just a little bit. 5, shifting right, push up with your right palm and down with your left. 6, keep your weight on the right, turn to the right, push forward right, left hand next to the right hip. Brush knee and push. Shift your weight left. Keep the arms going until your left hand is extended with the palm up. Right hand is across your body with the palm down, bringing your right foot. Step to the right. As you shift to the right, bring your right hand down in front of your right thigh. Bring your left hand close to your right eyebrow. Pick up your left toes. Turn the body and strum the lute. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's work on that a little bit. Smooth it out. Preparation. Initiation. Grasping the bird's tail. Single whip. Wave hands like clouds. Brush knee and push. Hands strum the lute. This is a little, it looks easier than it is. So what you're going to do, shift your weight forward and turn your right palm up. You're not standing up, you're not getting taller or anything. You're just shifting your weight forward and rotating the wrist to turn the palm up. Then you're going to shift back and sink a little on your right side, pick up your left heel, pick up your left hand. Your left hand kind of replaced the right one. Ideally, you've got your hands turned in opposite directions, but it's a little casual, so I don't care. Thirdly, because you're sunken on your right side, you can pick up everything else. If you're weighted with your bubbling well in mind, you're probably going to be doing this just fine. So you pick up both hands a little bit, pick up the toes, rotate the fingers so they face up, and bring your left heel back to the floor. Ideally, there's a little up and down motion going on. Looks like this. 1, 2, up and down. Okay, you actually sink a little bit on the way down. Again, right hand forward, you're reaching forward. Shift back and sink, your left hand replaces the right one. Pick up the toes and the hands, turn the fingers and toes up, sink on your right side. Okay, one more time, then we're gonna continue on with step back and repulse the monkey. 1, 2, 3. Step back and repulse the monkey. Number 1, put your toes down, push forward left, bring your right hand to your right hip. Turn the body, bring the right hand up by your shoulder, bend your knees a little more so you can turn a little more and thrust behind you. 3, turn your left palm up, bring your right hand by your right ear, step back left. 4, shift your weight left and sink, pick up your right heel, push forward right, left hand goes to the left hip. Second side. Number 1, turn your body to the left, bring your left hand up by your left shoulder, bend the knees a little bit so you can turn. Thrust forward with your left fingers. Turn the right palm up. Bring your left hand close to your left ear. Step back right. Shift your weight right and sink. Pick up your left heel. Push me, pull you. Okay. And then after that is number 9, deflect, intercept, and punch. Turn your body toward the camera. Drop your right arm. Reach back with your right hand and make a fist. Now, at the same time, you're going to bring the right hand high over the top and step back weightlessly with your left hand. Your left palm is now a palm. Your right hand is now a fist with the palm facing forward. Shift and sink on the left side. Pick up your right heel. Turn the body to the right, pivoting on your toes. Your hands go down by your left thigh. As you bring them high over the top, pick up the right toes, put down the right heel, bring your hands back to the shoulder level, but now the right fist is turned so the palm is facing you. Turn the right toes out. Shift your weight and sink on the right side. Turn your body to the right, which picks up your left heel and puts you into the high lotus position. Next, step forward into a left sit step. Remember to step toward the corner and prepare your fist. The fist and elbow are both at shoulder level. Shift your weight onto the bubbling well on your left side. Turn the fist eye up. Pick up your right toes. Turn the body and punch past your open left palm. Okay. That one's going to be problematical for a little while. It's confusing. There's a lot of moving parts. Let me give you a look at the move that leads into it and that one itself. So what we're going to do is go from the end of handstrung glute. And I'm going to count the number of moves so you have a sense of the separation of it. Okay, we'll start with step back and repulse the monkey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Confusing enough for you? It'll take a while to make friends with that one. Just be glad you didn't try to learn it mirror image like somebody I know. Okay, so what comes after that? Well, we're pretty close to the end of the program, the end of the 12 postures. So we're going to go and take a look at what comes next. So let's go back to the handstrung glute business and go from there. Let's see. So step back and repulse the monkey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. No, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next up is shutting the door. Number 1, put your left wrist under the right elbow. Relax your hand. Number 2, shift your weight back, sink on the right side, pick up your left heel. Your hands go into a crossed hand position about chest high. 3, pick up your toes, put down the heel, separate your open hands. And 4, shift your weight forward to push. Let's do that again. Okay, from deflect, intercept, and punch. Okay, left wrist under the right elbow. Shift your weight back and sink. Pick up your left heel, cross your hands. Pick up the toes, separate the open hands. Now this is important. Your arm should not be stiff and rigid. The elbow is always bent, shoulders always relaxed. You're not going to push with your arms. Your arms are already extended as much as they're ever going to be in this posture. You're simply shifting your weight forward to do the push. You don't push with your arms when you're pushing something heavy. Your whole body gets involved. So what you're going to do when you shift your weight forward, you're going to be tilting your body just a little bit because your body is involved in the process. You don't push something heavy just with your arms. Never works. Okay, so let's keep going. From the end of deflect, intercept, and punch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next up is crossing hands. It has 7 steps. Number 1, retreat and sink on the right side. Right hand rests on top of the left one. Your left toes are off the floor. Turn to the front by pivoting on your left heel. Make sure you bring the toes along with you. Shift onto the left bubbling well and sink. Now your right heel's off the floor. Pick up the toes, put down the heel, separate the open hands. They're out here about chin level. Don't overextend them, but don't keep them too close to your body. Shifting to the right hand side, you're going to crouch over the right leg and bracket your knee with your hands. Like you're making a place for somebody to step in your hands. You know what I mean? Next, shift your weight onto the left side. Then stand up with all your weight on the left and your right toes touching the floor. Your hands go to the crossed hands position. Now center your weight and sink. Your weight should be equally divided between your 2 bubbling wells. Finally, conclusion. 4 steps. Number 1, turn both your hands toward the floor. The right palm is on top. As you push down, your body gently rises to an upright, comfortable position. Your hands go onto the sides of your thighs. Shift your weight to the left side. Correct the direction of your right toes. Shift your weight back to the right. Pick up your left foot. Bring it back in to meet your right foot and stand comfortably. Okay. That's the whole form. Let's do those last three again. Okay, from the end of deflect, intercept, and punch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shutting the door. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Crossing hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I messed you up a minute ago. 3 and 4, you start with your left foot correcting the direction of the toes. Then shift your weight left and bring the right foot in. Yeah, that's a product of doing it backwards for so many weeks. All right. Let's do those 3 again and slow it down. The idea of slowing it down is to let you take the time to check and see if you're making a mistake or not and to correct it, but also to give you time to really feel solid when you've shifted your weight, and wherever it's going to go, you need to make sure it gets there right. The other thing I want to mention, but I should mention more, is that when you're stepping, whichever foot you're stepping to, remember to step toward the corner behind you. Don't step sideways. Step in back of yourself, sort of, and in the direction that you're going to go. When you do that, it makes sure that you're going to come out with a bow and arrow stance when you're finished with that posture, okay? We end up in a bow and arrow stance of one kind or another all the time. You have to have your feet separated by a distance about the width of your hips, and you have to have one foot significantly forward and the other foot pointed out at a 45-degree angle. That's a position of strength and stability, and you're always looking for that. Okay, let's work on those last 3 again. We just finished deflect, intercept, and punch. Your body is not upright, but tilted a bit. And you put yourself into that. Okay, shutting the door. 1, 2, 3, 4. Crossing hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Conclusion. 1, 2, 3, 4. You might notice that the slower you go, the more solid you are in your posture. You just have more time to get it right. And you do have a bunch of things to think about at the same time. So give yourself a little more time to think about it. Okay, so let's go from hand strum the lute and do that last 6-pack of postures, okay? Hand strum the lute. Look like this. Your left hand is out in front, your right hand is sort of next to your left forearm with all your fingers pointed up in the same direction. You're not exactly upright. You're a little more forward than upright. Your weight is on your right side. Your left heel is off the floor and your toes are touching, but nothing more. Wow, that rhymed. Okay, step back and repulse the monkey. Number one, put the heel down, push forward left, right hand goes to the right hip and your body turns toward the camera. Pick up your right hand up to the shoulder level, bend your knees a little bit and turn a little bit more, then thrust at shoulder level behind yourself. Turn the left palm up, bring your right hand close to the right ear. Step back weightlessly with your left foot. Then shift to the left and sink on the left side, picking up your right heel. Push with your right palm, left hand goes to the left hip. Sink a little more, turn a little more. Left hand comes up by the shoulder, turn and thrust. Turn the right palm up, bring your left hand close to your left ear. Step back weightlessly with your right foot. Shift onto the right side and sink, pick up your left heel, push forward left, right hand goes to the right hip. Deflect, intercept, and punch. Turn your body to the right, drop your right arm. Reach back and make a fist. As you step back weightlessly, bring the right fist over the top. Right fist next to your left palm. Shift your weight back and sink. Pick up your right heel as you turn. Pick up your right toes as the hands come over the top. Heel down, turn the fist around. Turn the right toes out. Shift and sink. Turn to the right into the high lotus position. Step out with your left into a left sit step and prepare your fist. The right fist and elbow should be shoulder level with the right fist eye pointing towards your body. Shift your weight forward, pick up the right toes, turn the right hand into a vertical position, turn your body forward and punch. Shutting the door. 1, put your left wrist under the right elbow, relax your hands. 2, shift and sink onto the right side, pick up your left heel, hands are crossed in front of the body. 3, pick up the left toes, put down the left heel, separate the open hands. Remember, don't extend them too much, but extend them enough to do the job. Then 4, shift your weight forward, 2, push. Crossing hands. 1, retreat, relax the right wrist on top of the left. 2, pivot on your left heel, bring your toes around with you as you turn. 3, shift and sink onto the left side, right heel is off the floor. 5, pick up the toes, put down the heel, separate the open hands. Shift your weight to the right, crouch over the right leg, bracket your knee with your hands. Shifting to the left, stand up on the left, all your weight's on the left, your right heel is also off the floor. Number 6. 7, center your weight and sink. Conclusion, 4 steps. 1, relax your elbows, palms are both pointing toward the floor, the right hand should be on top. 2, as you straighten your body, push towards the floor, separate the hands. Shift your weight to the right, pick up your left toes and correct the angle of your left foot as necessary. 4, shifting to the left, sink on the left side, pick up your right foot, bring it in to meet your left foot, and stand quiet. Okay, there's the whole form. We'll spend the next 2 weeks picking on individual parts of it and practicing the whole thing. Please remember, this is choreography. It's just choreography. It's some pretty purposeful choreography, I admit, but it is still just choreography. If you can do the hokey pokey, you can do Tai Chi. Maybe. Okay, we're going to do the form, the whole form, and nothing but the form 2 times. The first time I'm going to name each posture. The second time we're going to do it a cappella. We're not going to use any distracting noise from your friendly instructor. Okay? So, Muji positions, please. Head's upright, chin is tucked toward your body, shoulders are relaxed and rounded forward. Tuck your tailbone, bend your knees, check to see that your feet are close together with all your toes pointed forward. Nice and slowly, please. Keep your knees bent. Preparation. Initiation. Grasping the bird's tail to the right. Single whip. Wave hands like clouds. Brush, knee, and push. Hands strum the lute. Step back and repulse the monkey. Deflect, intercept, and punch. Shutting the door. Crossing hands. Conclusion. Okay, how'd it go? Question marks all over the place? That's okay. Reminder, take a look at the website, donmadson.blogspot.com. If you got any questions, you can email me at don.madson@gmail.com. Or you can stick around after class and ask questions too. Meanwhile, here's our grand finale. We're going to do it nice and slow, nice and smooth. Y'all are going to remember to differentiate your weight. Make sure you're on your bubbling well when you shift your weight. Make sure when you turn, you're pivoting on the heel or the toe. And don't forget to breathe. You ready? Muji positions, please. And begin. Okay, how'd that go? Feel like you're doing Tai Chi yet? For those of you who think this might be difficult, you're right. But like I said, it's choreography. It's just a bunch of movements that you have to sort of be friendly with and figure it out. Okay, so Muji positions, please. Your left hand is a willow palm, your right hand is a fist. Your left foot is forward in a point step. Fold your left hand over the right fist. Keep your eyes up as you bow. We're done. Thanks for your time and attention, everybody. I will stick around if anybody's got some questions for me. So we're officially after class.